Over the course of the last couple of weeks, the country has had to grapple with the idea that the president may have obstructed justice. Now, this is a debatable issue, and it's still controversial because, to me, I think it's very clear that he tried to obstruct justice, but Republicans at this point don't necessarily see it this way, and they're effectively arguing that he was too stupid to know that he was obstructing justice, because this is the go-to argument for elites. They had no idea that they were doing anything wrong, so they're not guilty. Well, that's not really persuasive. The debate itself will continue, but the Trump-Russia investigation is now widening to include a look into whether or not Donald Trump did in fact make an effort to obstruct justice. So according to Vox, Robert Mueller is now probing whether President Trump attempted to obstruct justice. An investigation, they say, began just days after Trump fired FBI Director James Comey. Specifically, they write, 5 people briefed say that Mueller's team will soon interview Director of National Intelligence Dan Coats and National Security Agency Director Mike Rogers, along with Rogers' former deputy who recently left the government. A spokesperson for Trump's personal lawyer issued a statement that conspicuously did not deny the story, merely saying the FBI leak of information regarding the president is outrageous, inexcusable, and illegal. Now, there are people that were initially apprehensive to believe that the scope of the Trump-Russia investigation widened to determine whether or not he did in fact obstruct justice, but Donald Trump put his foot in his mouth like he usually does, and he inadvertently admitted that this is in fact the case. So, President Donald Trump slammed special counsel Robert Mueller's expanding probe on Thursday, calling the inquiry into whether he obstructed justice a phony story and the single greatest witch hunt in American political history. So, he's inadvertently confirming it here. That's exactly what he's doing. So to him whining and, being a baby about this, well, maybe you shouldn't have run for president if you don't want to deal with the accountability that comes along with being president. And, most of all, maybe you shouldn't have tried to obstruct justice, because if you are an adult and you're incapable of realizing how asking the FBI director to drop something doesn't seem problematic and unethical, then you have no business being in government. And we already know that Donald Trump is a man baby who doesn't have any business being in government. So certainly I do believe that he probably did try to obstruct justice, but certainly we'll wait for the outcome of this investigation. And in the meantime, I do want to say this to my fellow liberals. Let's not get too bogged down by this, because Donald Trump and the Republicans are currently pushing a really harmful agenda. If Trump Care goes through, if the Senate actually passes the American Health Care Act, millions of people, 24 million specifically, will be thrown off of their health insurance, and I don't even want to imagine how many people will die as a result of that. So we have to focus on the real issues. We need to focus on the policies and not just the controversies, because when it comes to policies, Donald Trump has given progressives and liberals more than enough to work with and criticize him on and hold him accountable. But focusing on Trump-Russia or the investigation, and Mike Flynn and the obstruction of justice, if you do that too much, that's not a winning argument. You have to actually come forward with a winning vision, and that vision is progressive. Tell the American people how Republicans are betraying the working class and how you are proposing a true progressive alternative. It's the way to go. So that's all I have to say about this. Let's not get bogged down by this. Let's not focus on this exclusively. Let's actually go after Trump where it matters, on the policies. And his policies, they've been pretty bad. Let's actually fight him on that and call him out on that, and not allow all of these controversies to distract us while we don't even know what the outcome will be.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.